Talk now about Windows Peek, and then let's get a good start on the desktop. Windows Peek is this thing way down here in the corner. You can barely see it, but if I hover over it, I can see the desktop, and when I stop hovering over it, I can see my documents again. If I click on it, it will bring up my desktop and minimize everything else. Alright, let's move on now to the desktop itself. Any document, folder, shortcut, almost anything can exist on the desktop. We've talked in the past videos about how to pin things to the desktop, so I'm not going to repeat that. But let's look at some of the personalization options, and there are a bunch of them here. Most of them are in Start, Settings, Personalization. I'm going to go down here to Start, Settings, Personalization, and now I can change, for example, the background color of my windows. I can make it solid, picture, a slideshow. I can change the colors. This has to do with the colors of the title bars. For example, this blue that you see here, that's part of the color scheme. And then background colors, lock screen. What do I want on here when the machine is locked? And then themes. So what are these themes about? Themes are actually a combination. If I click themes, you'll see it's a combination of a background, a color, set of sounds, and the mouse cursor. And I put all these things together. I can give it a name. Let's say I have a certain Christmas theme. I want my cursor to be, I don't know, green, and my background to be red, or something like that. And then I want certain Christmas sounds instead of the normal Windows sounds, like that. So I can do all that, make it a theme, give it a name, and then call that theme back up. So these are sort of combinations of these items up here. All of that is in the Start, Settings, Personalization. Choose the background color, turn on something called High Contrast. Under, let's see, where was the High Contrast? I can't remember off the top. Oh, here it is, High Contrast Settings. For those who have vision issues, high contrast can be really helpful. And it takes a minute for it to kick in, by the way. So we have to wait for just a moment. There we go, the high contrast setting. Most of us don't like it, but some people really do like it. I had a student who would always change it before taking a test. Don't ask me why, he just liked it better that way. Color schemes for open windows and highlights, accent colors, taskbar colors, lock screen pictures, colors, timeouts. All of this stuff is all set here under Start, Settings, Personalization. Until we get down to the cursor and pointer, and then the mouse settings and tablet mode. We've seen tablet mode right down here. It's one of these little action buttons down here. But what about this one, cursor and pointer? This is really handy, and I really ought to do this more often for classes or for videos. But I'm going to go to the home screen here in Settings, Ease of Access, and then Cursor and Pointer. I can change this pointer size. This is fairly new, by the way, in Windows. Let's change that to be pretty big, and then I'll change the color like this. Oh, I'll choose color over here, and I'll choose a nice bright pink one, or purple one, I guess they call that. Or I could pick a custom pointer color, and I'll make it the thickness nice and big. And now when I do videos, especially if you're not colorblind, you can see everything I'm doing quite well. So this is a pretty cool feature that we didn't have in the past that we now have available to us. There are several ease of access and system display settings. If I go down here to Settings, System, Display, I have several display settings here. So, and then under Personalization, Other Settings. So you can see that they're kind of all over the place. I'm not quite sure why that is. It's just the way that it is. Themes and desktop settings can be customized and travel with you. If I'm signed on with a Microsoft account, and let's see, I don't believe I am right now. Let's go back to the home here, and then accounts, and your info. I'm just a local administrator right now. I am not signed on with my Microsoft account. if I were signed up with a Microsoft account and then I change my themes, then when I sign on to another computer with my Microsoft account, it will switch to that theme for me. So that's a pretty cool thing we have too. Next, we're going to talk about window management and then begin talking about some of these mouse settings.